So guys, let me introduce myself. Myself Santosh, and I have like totally 8 years of experience in data analytics and data science. So and I am working one of the men's organization. Can you please introduce yourself, Spandana?
My name is Spandana, and I'm a recent graduate from University at Buffalo from MS in DS.
Okay.
And I'm currently looking for full-time roles as a data engineer. That's it about myself. Yeah.
Nice, Spandana. So next,
Yeah, hi, my name is Vasant. I'm doing my master's in Concordia, St. Paul University in Information Technology and Management.
okay, great, Vasant. So Karan, Indivara.
Yeah, hi. I'm Indivara. I'm also a recent graduate from University at Buffalo in MSDS, and I'm also in the market looking for jobs on data science or data analyst roles.
Yeah, great. Okay. So you guys are from IT and DGS, right? So can you tell me what do you know about data science? What exactly is it used for? Anyone can answer this question. Vasant, Spandana, and Indivara, Karan. So what do you know about data science? So can you tell me what is data first of all? Okay, fine, then, yes. So data is nothing but information, right? So right now we are getting vast amount of data from different sources. So let it be like mobile, let it be like application, let it be cloud, let it be paper. So right now we have any number of sources, right? So by collecting all this information, what are we going to do? What is the use of collecting this information? So by collecting this information, we are going to get the insights, right? And along with that, if I want to take new step or if I want to take any kind of decision, this data will be useful. So that is the purpose of data science. The main purpose of data science is to support whatever the kind of decision I'm taking and till what extent it is really correct. So is it like 50%? Is it like 40%? Is it like 30%? On what extent? What are the decision I have taken is correct. So that decision making helps with the data science. Okay. So then how is it useful for us? So why companies are looking for data science people? So if you look at earlier days, what used to happen? If I want to open a shop at that time, we use it to do the analysis by going through different shops. We use it to reach out to a couple of people who we know, and also to the people who are recently into the market or who are like from the past, right? So based upon the decisions we are going to take, few people who are really close to you, they'll be supporting your decision, and a few people who are not really good to you or who feel like you're a competitor, they'll be saying that this field is not good and you should not enter into this field. It's a waste of money as we are from past couple of years, we are surviving on this, right? So how do you know which one is correct? Just for single branch opening, if you are trying to get this much of amount of data, and let's say like Webplus. So when it came to IPO, it had initially mentioned it is going to open like 50,000 branches across the India. So how can it gather the information? Which area is really good? How many shops are really available? How will the brand sustain the market in the upcoming years? So can it survive at least like 6 months or 1 year? How much investment should I keep? Is it really worth? So we have all these things, right? How does the MedPlus will take care of all those things? So who is going to get that? Is it someone, you or me? Yes, exactly. It's you or me. So how are we going to do that? By using this data science machine learning. Okay. So here what we are going to do is like whatever the decisions we are going to take or the company is going to take, by using the data and the statistical methods, we are going to tell to the company that if you take such kind of decision, it's going to impact in a reverse way. So I don't know whether you heard this or not. So currently, whatever the political parties we are having, those people are trying to use this data science machine learning technology and trying to get into the audience. If, let it be a new party, let it be an old party, Congress, BJP, everything. So they're trying to see which kind of information is really useful for them and what kind of steps should be taken. Right? So even the political parties, even though they have no knowledge on technology, they're using the real-time data scientists and ask them to evaluate the data and tell them what kind of actions they need to take, how exactly they are in the market, whether they are going to survive in the present elections or not. Okay. This the major thing which is currently in the market nowadays. It is not only supporting the company, but also data science has been evolved in such a way that it can be incorporated into any number of variances. Okay. So this is data science. So we are going to provide insights and you are also going to provide recommendations. So when you talk about recommendations, is it like LinkedIn recommendations or like is it a reference to the friend in a company post? Nothing, right? So if you open Amazon, when you open any of the item to purchase, so what you are going to do, see at the below, you'll be seeing like these are the different items where people are purchasing along with this one, right? So what is it doing? It is actually recommending a product. Or if you take a digital marketing, what is it doing? It's going to recommend institute based upon your need. Let it be digital marketing, let it be Java, let it be .NET, let it be data science. What exactly it is trying? It is trying to recommend a particular institution based upon your research. If you search something in Google, let's say like you are trying to check for a trimmer or check for a makeup kit. So if you look for any kind of companies or website, so if you open YouTube, if you open any kind of Google thing, or if you open Amazon, it is going to show you the relevant company products, right? So how is it happening? Is it someone you know that it is going to showcase everything? Or if you open Netflix, if you do it for if you watch 1 or 2 movies, what will happen? Later, it's going to show you the relevant movies, right? Let it be horror movies, let it be action movies, let it be fiction movies. So if you watch like 1 or 2 movies, after that, it's going to showcase all the relevant movies based upon your interest, right? So how is it showing everything? If you are really interested in Korean series, so it's going to showcase the Korean series in the YouTube. Or if you open like shorts, YouTube shorts or Instagram reels, it's going to do the same thing, right? So that's how. So all these are nothing but product recommendations. How is it doing then? By using the data science machine learning. Okay. And what is the real-time problems? So what are the problems we are currently facing in the organization? Let it be like manual work. So what we are trying to do, we're trying to give some commands to the code and it's going to operate on our behalf of, right? So it's a kind of automation. So by using machine learning, we can do the automation as well. And also when we are trying to look at data analytics, so what will happen, whatever the data we have, it's going to give us the insights, right? Apart from that, if we want to forecast the data based upon the current information, how are we going to do that? So can we predict the real-time information or can we predict something unknown information? And if we try to predict, how can we sure that it is like 100% guarantee or 10% guarantee? If we can say it's a completely guess, right? So, but by using this machine learning techniques, we can say that till what extent, what are the decision we are going to take is really helpful for the people. Is it like 50%, 100%, 10%? Okay. So all these things can be done by using the machine learning. Okay. So we are talking till now machine learning, machine learning. What is machine learning? So machine learning is nothing but whatever the things we are trying to do, we are giving the same kind of practice and trying to the machine. So right now what you're doing, you are learning this machine learning concept. In the similar way, if you train the algorithms to do such kind of output or to do some kind of predictions, so it's going to give us the similar kind of output, how we behave. It's a simply you can say like, if you are going to train a kid, so how to stand, how to sit, or how to identify different objects, bowl, peacock, animals, birds. So based upon like if you tell him to do the same thing like multiple times, what he will do? On the 10th time or 11th time, it's going to tell him, he is going to tell you that, okay, these pig, these frog, these cow, right? How is he able to identify that? Because we are giving him the training on what exactly this object means, what kind of things he is saying, right? So in a similar way, we are going to train the algorithm in such a way that whatever the data based upon that, it's going to learn and it's going to predict the output and it's going to give us the classification. Okay. See here. So machine learning main purpose of machine learning is to eliminate the human intervention. So for example, let's say like if we are trying to refresh the application on an everyday basis in the 12 o'clock, are we going to wake up till 12 o'clock and do the no, right? Or if I want to message someone. So for example, let's say like in our olden days, I guess everyone knows about Nokia mobile, right? So in Nokia mobile, we have an option like if I want to send a message at 12 o'clock, birthday wishes or marriage wishes, what I will do, I will schedule the message, right? So I will type the message and I will schedule it like send it at 12 o'clock on this particular date and time, right? What it is going to do? It's going to send a message whether we are awake or not, right? In a similar way, what are the things we want to do? We are training the model and it's going to take care of them. Okay. So how exactly model can understand? So based upon the prior experiences. So we know what is an experience, but a machine can understand what is a prior experience, no, right? So for machine, whatever the data we are ingesting, whatever the data we are giving, that is the prior experience or prior data. Okay. That is the training data we can say. So by using the training data, it is going to learn everything. And whatever the new data comes, it is going to tell whether it is right or wrong, spam or ham emails, all these things will come into picture. Okay. If you simply talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can say that artificial intelligence is like our brain. Okay. We are trying to learn on our own and we are trying to work on it. But machine learning is a kind of kit where you need to teach each and everything to the kit. So once you stop teaching, then it's going to do the predictions. But when it comes to artificial intelligence, it's going to learn it on its own and it is going to give us the better output, right? So what's the difference between normal computer and machine learning then? So in a normal computer, we are going to give us the input, like it is not going to get trained on anything. For example, if you take a calculator, what it's going to do? What are the inputs we give? 5 into 4, 20, 10 into 2, 20, right? It is going to give us the output. But when it comes to machine learning, it's going to give us what other things you are going to try, or what kind of preferences you are expecting, or what kind of sessions you are expecting. So can a calculator do such kind of thing? Nothing, right? So what it is going to do? It's going to give us some kind of preferences. Okay, this is what you are asking, and I am showing you along with this remaining things as well. So you can choose whichever is suitable for you, right? It's a simply kind of, you can think like a salesperson. So if you go to a shop and if you are looking for a dress, what they will say, okay, this is the latest one. You can also try this one as well. Or you going to ask them, which is the new one or nothing. They're just randomly doing window shopping and they are going to tell you that, okay, this is really good. Or you can choose this one as well. And they will also say that, okay, along with this, people are also looking for distance. These are current trend now, right? So in the similar way, machine learning is also trying to help us in such a way that even if we forget, if we don't know anything, it's going to help us. What exactly we want to identify, how exactly we can deal with the situation, how to react for a situation. Okay. So these are the some machine learning algorithms, neural networks. Neural network itself is it's a neuron. So our entire body consists of neurons, right? which is nothing but ignorance. So whenever we are trying to think of something, we are trying to analyze different patterns based upon someone understanding, or if you randomly hear someone's. So what you will think, okay, this is what the scenario is going on, and this kind of action you can take. Okay? Or if you want to take simply like share market, so you can simply tell them that there we are having like MA, RSMA, 20 MA, 40 MA, right? So moving averages. How is it going to predict the future ones? So when to sell and when to buy. We are ready to take the risk, but on what basis? How the trend is indicating everything, when to sell and when to buy. Right? All these things are done by using the machine learning concepts. Earlier we used to manipulate the data, but right now we are not going to do anything. Each and everything will be taken care by the algorithms. Okay. So neural networks, random forest, decision tree, regression algorithms, radial basis functions, sigmoid, classification. What do you mean by classification? Okay. So when you talk about gender, we have two different classifications, right? Male and female. And if you ask me a question, you'll be saying either you know or you don't know. Yes or no, right? So this is nothing but the classification. If you talk about a movie, you can say that this movie is really good. Or you can say, okay, it's okay. It's an average. It's not that bad. It's very worse, right? What you're doing, depending upon the movie, depending upon the direction, depending upon the sounds and everything, you're categorizing the movie into 5 different things. Bad, worst, bad, average, good, best. So on out of these 5, you're going to pick one of the option, right? So that is nothing but the classification. So how exactly you're going to classify them? Based upon different parameters. In a similar way, this classification algorithm is also going to classify the data based upon different techniques, different parameters. Clustering algorithms. So clustering in a simple, you can say that. So if you look for Zomato or Swiggy, when they are trying to recruit any new person for the delivery, what they will do? They will try to ask the people whether are you with a similar location or are you from far away. Why? If the person is from far away, Swiggy says that it doesn't give you the job. No, right? The main reason is that he is able to know the relevant areas. He knows every area. So whenever there is any delivery, he can deliver the food on time or in time, so that there won't be any cashbacks given, or at the same time there won't be any queries. So that's the reason they're trying to look for the people who are in the similar area or nearby area. So that is nothing but clustering. I'm going to cluster the data from the nearby region to the faraway region. And if I don't find anyone in the nearby region, then I will go or extend 1 more kilometer or 2 more kilometers. If I don't find anyone out there, then I am going to extend 1 more kilometer to 2 more kilometers. In this way, I am going to. In this way, Swiggy is going to identify the delivery partners, and accordingly, they are going to keep them in the respective locations. Okay. So there are 3 different kinds of machine learning models: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So if I give you an Excel file, and if I ask you to tell me what are the different parameters you have, or if you simply take a resume, or if you simply take a like a LinkedIn profile or like any Naukri post, what you will see, you are going to see like different things, right? What kind of job are you looking for? How many years of experience? In which location do you want to see? What is the current package? What is the salary range you are expecting? And what else? So there are n number of things, right? So here when you try to open Naukri, Monster or Shine.com, what's happening? There are like each and every parameter to understand us, right? So what exactly we want to do, right? So each and every object is highlighted and named clearly. So that is nothing but supervised learning. Whatever the data we are looking at, if it is clearly labeled, or if each and every column is having a respective name, then we'll call this supervised learning. You know what does the column mean? What kind of data is going to store? But why is it useful? If I say gender, if I say 1 or 0, does it make any sense? No, right? If I say like male or female, it's clearly understandable for us, right? Okay, this column is gender, it's going to capture the sex of each and every person, right? In a similar way, unsupervised is nothing but it's a quite opposite. So when we are talking about supervised, we are saying each and everything will be labeled. It's going to have some name. But when it comes to unsupervised, it doesn't have any kind of naming convention. Then how are we going to identify it? Based upon the characteristics. Okay. If I give you like 3 different flowers, rose, jasmine, and lily, and if I ask you to identify the upcoming flowers, how will you do that? By looking at the shape, size, color, pattern, all these things will come into picture, right? Okay. So if you look at rose, you'll be seeing different petals. Thorns will be there for the branch, and the shape will be different. So if you find similar kind of flower, what you would do? Okay, this belongs to this particular category. And if I give you jasmine, this belongs to this particular category. Lily, this belongs to this particular category, right? So how are you segregating it? Based upon the parameters, right? Do you have anything relevant like this the branch, this the tone? Nothing, right? You don't have anything on top of it. You are simply identifying based upon the characteristics of the object. Correct? And what is reinforcement learning? So if you remember the Robo movie, what happened? So when Varsager is trying to train the chitti, what is happening? It's going to take small steps and it's going to fail, right? So here what happens is that it's going to learn on its own. We are going to give the basic fundamentals, and after that it's going to learn on its own and it's going to start working on it. Okay? So whenever it's starting to take a step, it will fall down for 2 to 3 times. After that, it's able to place the balance perfectly. And then it starts working and then jumping, running, everything, right? So similar way, this reinforcement learning is also going to do the same thing. Initially, we will give it a small input, and after that, based upon the input and the real time practical experience, it's going to take a decision how exactly it should work, what kind of things it need to do. Okay. So generally, when you're trying to develop a robot, it takes a lot of time because in order to take a single step, it has to fail at least like 10,000 times. Until and unless it will fall like this, it won't be able to gather the relevant information and it won't be able to get the balance where exactly or how exactly it need to take the foot. Once it gets the balance, what will happen? It's going to start continue walking. It's going to gather more information. How exactly I need to walk, how exactly I need to run, right? So we have given a basic input. After that, it's going to get trained on its own, right? So that is called reinforcement learning. Clear, guys? Any questions so far?
No, sir.
So when it comes to supervised machine learning, we have 2 different things here. One is the classification and the other one is the regression. Okay. So what is classification? The name itself says that we are classifying the data, which means we are segregating the data into different pieces. Okay. If you take a telecom network, for example, Airtel, Vodafone, Idea. So how will the people come to know whether you are going to stay in the same network or are you planning to move to a different network? So if we recharge for 1 year, what they'll feel? Okay, you are going to stay in the same network. If you are recharging bi-monthly or once in a 3 months, what they'll feel? Okay, this guy is not interested and he is planning to switch, right? So if I ask you whether you are going to stay in the same network or not, what will you say? Yes or no, right? So yes or no are the 2 different classifiers. You are going to segregate the data. How many people are going to stay in the same network and how many people are trying to move away from the network? Okay. And in the similar way, regression. So we all know that whenever we try to purchase a house, what are the different parameters you will see? Whether is it near to the road point? Do we have DMart nearby or any kind of medical stores nearby? Do we have all the emergency things or shops nearby? Right? So do we have a vehicle parking? Or if there is any emergency, can ambulance come over here? All these things will check, right? So when you have all these facilities, what will be the price of the flat or independent house? It will be too costly. Correct. And if you don't have anything, so what will be the price? It will be that cheap. So how exactly the price is varying? depending upon different parameters. And along with that, if you look into the house, is it a 2 BHK, 3 BHK, or is it a duplex house, or is it a villa? Depending upon these things also, the price will keep on changing, right? So what are the price you are trying to predict? It's a numerical value, right? So when you're trying to predict a numerical value, that is called regression. And when you're trying to classify the data based upon different parameters, then it's called a classification. Okay, but out of these two, what are the data you're going to get? It will be labeled. Each and every column will have a specific name. Okay, so how many rooms we have, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms. Okay, so all these things will be having a specific naming convention out there. So that is called supervisor lapping. And in the unsupervised learning, we don't have anything called label. Based upon the characteristics, we are going to identify them. What exactly is it? How exactly we are going to deal with that? What kind of characteristics does it have? Do we see any kind of color changes or pattern changes or anything? So if you look at Discovery channels or like anything, they will say that they have found a new species. So how are they going to say that there is a new species? So by looking at the characteristics, does it belong to the existing family or is it a new one? So at that time, they won't leave anything for them. Everything will be unsupervised. Does it have a tail? Like recently, we have seen they mentioned that there is a new tortoise they found. Okay, so how did they classify that it's a new one, which is not already available in the existing categories? So based upon the characteristics, what's the thickness of the shell? What's the size of the tortoise? How exactly is it? Since how long is it surviving? Is it 10, 100 years, 50 years, 40 years? What additional characteristics does it have apart from the existing ones? Okay, by looking at all those things, they will come to know that okay, this is a new one, not the known one. Okay, and these are reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning is nothing but we are going to take decisions sequentially. So let it be right or wrong. So there is a proverb, right? Mistake makes man perfect, right? Okay. So when you are trying to do as many number of mistakes, your experience will be more because you will come to know what is a mistake and how to resolve it, right? Practice makes perfect. So while you are doing the practice, you are going to get n number of errors. And when you are in the real-time scenarios, whatever you have learned from these errors, it will be really easy for you to debug and fix the issue, right? In a similar way, when you are trying to use the reinforcement learning, you are going to take sequential decisions where most of the times you will be failing. But based upon the experiences, you will be taking the forward step. So that is called reinforcement learning. So where are we using this machine learning? Okay, fine. Then we have seen so many things. There are different variants, different algorithms. So where are we exactly using them? But why do we want to use them in the real-time scenarios? Okay, we know that this is to eliminate the human intervention. Is that the only thing? Even if you want to write the code, play the code, debug the code, again you need to enter into the coding, right? So again you need the manpower. So what additional benefit is it giving? Any idea, guys? Okay. So if you talk about the traffic chalanas, simple. So every day, earlier we used to see that whenever we see a constable, we used to take U-turn or we used to do some kind of gambling, or we will try to run faster. But right now, even how fast you go, what's happening? They are going to click a photo and they are going to be silent. Right? What will happen at the end of the day? We are going to receive a message stating that okay, because of this so either trouble riding, helmet, no helmet, or red cross, crossing the red light, right? Based upon all these things, it will come to say that okay, because of so reasons, we are getting this chalana, right? So what's happened because of that? So what are the technology we are having? We are trying to do everything automated, and what are the manpower we have in this particular traffic police station? They are trying to concentrate on the like criminal things, criminal case and everything. So because of that, whatever the criminal things or activities are happening, right now they're getting reduced because the center manpower went to that side, right? And speech recognition. So right now we are using Alexa, Google. So how does the system understand what are we are speaking? And in a similar way, how is it able to revert us with a similar explanation, what we, in which language we want, whether it be like Hindi, English, Telugu, Malayalam, let it be any kind of language. How is it able to revert it back with the same language? So when we open an email, we are able to see spam or ham. Why do you want to see them? Why don't we keep everything as a proper emails? Why do we want to have a spam emails? Is it really required to have the spam emails? Yes, because or else the people who are doing the black hacking, they are going to crack our system and they are going to retrieve our personal information, right? In order to avoid all of them, the spam and ham classification is really mandatory for us. So whenever, if I'm trying to identify an email as a spam, so whenever it goes to you, it will be stored for you in the spam folder, not in the primary folder. So how is it going to do that? If I take an action, how is it affecting you? How is it helping you? Right? So whenever we get any new kind of emails or spam emails or ham emails, the model will keep on learning, and if the similar kind of email will reach out to any other person, it's going to store them in the spam emails. Okay. So that's how it works. Biometrics, natural language processing. So these are the real-time scenarios. So in Asha and Cell, we will see that there are like many offers. Okay. How will the shop people come to know that, okay, this is the amount which they need to pay? Yeah, what should be the price margin? What should be the profit margin? What should be the discount margin? Right? And we are recently seeing like Flipkart billion sale, big billion sale, Amazon big billion sale. So at the time, we will be getting the mobiles for a cheaper cost. We will be getting the discount from the banks, and at the same time, Amazon or Flipkart, they are also going to give you the margin discount. So if they are going to get two different discounts, how exactly the Amazon, Flipkart getting profits? Still at the end of the day, we'll see that, okay, Amazon got 1300 crores profit, Flipkart got 1300 crores profit. How are they going still in the profit? Right? So what kind of profit should be given? What kind of decisions to be taken? All these things can be derived based on the machine learning. Okay. If you open IRCTC website, there will be having Tatkal and Premium Tatkal, right? So when you open the Premium Tatkal, depending upon the number of seats availability, the price will keep on changing. If you book the ticket, when the train is just opened, the ticket price is very low. But if the 50% of these seats are occupied, then the price of the Tatkal ticket will be a little bit different. Right? So how exactly we are going to see that? So are we trying to tell to the website that you should be increasing this much, you should be depending this much? Or when you look at the seasons, so during Sankranti or Diwali times, the price of train tickets, price of bus tickets, everything will be very high. So how is it doing? Are we trying to do that manually for all different kinds of websites, buses and everything? No, right? So in the back end, we'll be saying that whenever you get fungal season or anything, the price should be increased by 20%, 30%. And at the end of the season or after the season, it should be back to normal price. So everything was pre-coded and trained by different algorithms. So those things are going to take care. These are called seasonal data, seasonal information, right? Whenever we have any kind of festivals, functions, at that time, the price will be very high. Even if we have like 3-4 days holidays, at that time also the price of bus and train tickets will be very high. Right? So similarly, social media, digital marketing. So right now, whenever you go to a shop or anything, you are going to give some feedback to the mall, right? Where it is good or bad, what kind of product is really good, what kind of product is really bad. So if you are getting like daily 20,000 feedback points, how will you identify them? Which is good and which is bad? And how long is it going to take for you to identify where there is a good one or a bad one? Should you take any kind of action, or should you be neutral, or is it really good? How will you identify them? How much time will it take for you? Right? So these kind of things also can be done by using the machine learning tools. Marketing, healthcare, trade insurance, police stations, signal trafficking, software development. So what not? We can use in different scenarios as well. Mechanical applications. So when should we need to do the maintenance? What is the time period for that? Okay. So what are the different ways to prevent the issue. So right now we are looking at X-rays and MRI scans, right? So if you get a clear-cut information, what kind of thing you are facing now? For example, let's say if a person fell down and there is a pain in his leg. Whenever he takes an X-ray, if it clearly says that, okay, this is an airline crack, or this is like mid-tap, or this is like highly injured. So what you will do, even if it is Sunday or Saturday, or it's like government holidays, sometimes hospitals will not be available, or it won't be nearby, especially for the rural areas, not for the urban. So at that time, what will happen? Based upon looking at these things, they'll feel a little bit, okay, fine then. We can reach out tomorrow to the doctor. Or if that is a worst scenario, then we have to go for the urban area, villages or cities, we need to travel. Right? So that kind of information should be given. So in that way, it will be really helpful for the person. And doctors also don't have to do any kind of gambling to increase the revenue. Okay, biomechanical applications, robotic applications, third mechanics. And these are some of them related to civil applications. So what is the simulation? Are there any issues with the design? If not, in the next 1 or 2 years, how exactly is the building? Will it be sustaining or will it be falling down? What are the warranty analysis? Okay. When you take any kind of mobile or any kind of laptop, they will say you 2 years warranty, 3 years warranty. So how are they saying that it's like 2 years or 3 years? Dell is going to give you guarantee, not warranty. If you throw down the laptop from first floor to ground floor, even then Dell person will come and they will silently replace all the components. They won't even utter a single one. Right? But on the same thing, if you do with Lenovo or anything, they will say that it is a physical damage. We are not going to do anything for that. Right? Obviously, they are looking at guarantee and warranty. Budgeting, optimization. This is the set of data science. So one is domain. What do you mean by domain? So whichever organization you are going to work, let it be service-based, let it be product-based. So whatever the industry you are into, that's called domain. So you can ask me like, are we going to learn the domain? No. It depends upon kind of industry you go, and then we are going to learn that domain. Let it be sales, let it be finance, let it be like medical, let it be electrical, mechanical. So all these things. Okay. That is called domain expertise. Research. What kind of analysis you need to do? How exactly you are going to get the expected output? What are the other ways do you have? Okay. Analytics. When you get the data, you need to identify first what kind of things you need to do. What exactly is the data related to? Is it related to the current scenario? Is it something else? What kind of things can we do on top of it? And statistics, whether data is proper or not. And algorithms. Once we run the algorithms, based on the statistics, we can say that, okay, what are the output we have achieved is like 90% guarantee, 100% guarantee, 30% guarantee. And at the same time, when you develop a model, how can you say that this is correct or this is not correct? So whenever we try to do anything, we'll cross check, right? So if we give a machine like a grinder to a mechanic, what he will do, if he says that it is completed, what you will do, you will ask him to plug it and switch on the grinder. You will see over there that it is working or not, right? In the similar way, whenever you're dealing with data, you should be able to say that this is the right input or not. Right? In order to do all these things, you need to write some code. So that coding is nothing but programming skills, which is nothing but Python. So, okay, all these things are clear. Then what is big data? So in order to run the code, you need to have some data, right? That's the big data. Right now, we are having huge amount of data where the normal or small database applications cannot survive it. They won't be able to fetch the data in a fastest way. So for that reason, data is mostly stored in the Hadoop systems or like any kind of Excel files or any kind of cloud services. We just need to get the connectivity and we can pull the data from there to here. Okay. So this entire combination is nothing but data science. Clear, guys? So what's the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning? So for machine learning, you can take it as a kid and you can say that I'm going to train the kid. But when it comes to artificial intelligence, it will be learning on its own. You don't have to train anything or you don't have to say anything. Okay. So that is the difference between artificial intelligence and a machine learning in a simple layman terms. Okay. Advantages of ML. So it is fast, accurate, efficient. Most of the things can be automated, and most of the times real-time challenges have been cleared. What are the challenges we are facing in the real time? Those have been resolved. Cyber security, spam detection. Right now, if you look at any kind of cameras or anything, they will say that you can operate everything through mobile, or you can operate TV through your mobile. You can operate AC through your mobile, even though whether you are in the house or you are far away from the house or you are in the office or something, right? So how is it happening? Do you have any connection between you two? Nothing, right? Just by using the sensors and algorithms, we are going to do everything. How can we analyze cyber security? Right? All these are different things what we are going to deal with. So these are different kinds of buzzwords: algorithms, artificial intelligence, big data, business intelligence, data anonymization. Sometimes we are going to have the private data and functional data. We cannot give the data to outside person, but at the same time, we want to have some kind of insights from that. How are you going to do that? You cannot give this data, or no one can see this confidential information, but you need to give the data to outside person. So at that time, what we are going to do is like, we are going to modify the data and make it in a such a way that no one can be able to identify that. What does this do? Okay. So by doing so, we are protecting the data, and at the same time, whatever the insights we want to derive, he is going to develop the application and he is going to give it back to us. We will run the application with our original data set and we are going to derive the insights. Okay. Data governance, triangling, Hadoop, NLP, data quality. So whenever you talk about data quality, if I give you a data and if I start ask you to work on it, what you will do? You will see whether the data which I have given is correct or not. What is the quality of the data? Does it have any blanks? Or how many records do you have? What kind of things can you do? Is it really good quality of data or not? Right? We are going to check different things. That is the data quality thing. Okay. So each and every area, this machine learning has been involved. Okay. So data visualization, ETL, machine learning, neural network, or deep learning. All these things will come into picture. Okay. Guys, any questions or anything? So next we can see the linear regression. This is one of the linear regression model. When we talk about regression, what is regression? Okay. What's the dependent variable? So this is one of the kind of linear regression technique where we are going to see what will happen if I change a single parameter and what kind of output will be happening in the other parameter. Okay. For example, let's say taxes. If our government is keep on increasing the taxes, what will happen? What are the income we are trying to get? It will be very limited, right? We won't be able to earn the proper thing, and we won't be able to survive in the current market, right? So what will happen if there is a reduction in the taxes, or if there is an increase in the taxes? So that taxes is an independent, and we are based upon the tax slabs, right? So if there is any change, we will be getting impacted. So that is the relation. Linear regression. What exactly is the regression? Okay. So it is going to tell us how exactly the independent and dependent variables are correlated, where both of them are directly proportional, indirectly proportional. How exactly they are going to affect each other in the upcoming trends. Okay. So in the similar way, we have linear regression, logistic regression. I am going to teach you all of them in the upcoming sessions. Okay. Just remember the names as of now. Linear regression, logistic regression. Linear is going to identify the continuous variables, which is like numbers. Logistic, it's going to classify the data. Okay. And below we have like different parameters. For each and every model, we need to verify whether the output model is right or wrong. Okay. For those, we are going to use this different metrics. R square, adjust R square, accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, confusion matrix, ROC curve. So why exactly we are going to use the linear regression? To identify the trends, whether what exactly is the trend really good. So how can we estimate the sales? From past couple of months, we are seeing that people are coming and we are seeing that out of stock. So what I need to do now? I need to simply say that from the next month onwards, right now if I am giving 10,000 orders, next month onwards I am going to give 15,000 orders. Right? So depending upon the previous month's shortage, I am trying to mitigate that issue now. So in the upcoming is what I'm saying, from now onwards, give me 50,000 sales, 15,000 items. Right? So that's what we are going to create. So these are linear equation. Whether is it directly proportional or indirectly proportional? Okay. Y equal to x plus. So depending upon the m, the value of y will keep on changing because x is constant, c is constant, y is the dependent variable. If I change the slope from 2 to 1, the value of y will keep on decreasing. If I make it from 1 to 10, it will increase, right? So mean square error. So when we are trying to create something, if I ask you to tell me how is the demo or how much time are you going to spend, we will say like approximately 30 to 45 minutes, right? If it goes for 1 hour, what will happen? So whatever the estimation we have again and whatever the actual it is, both are clashing out. So there is a difference of minus 15 minutes. So whatever the planning we have done for going outside or anywhere, it will get halted, right? So that is the difference. That is the mean square error. So how much difference are we seeing from the estimated to the actual? Okay. And this is the R square. So how much data, like whenever I pass the data to the model, right? It's going to tell us how much data is really useful for the model. Is it like 85%, 90%, 100%? Okay. So these are the different kinds of job titles we'll be hearing. Data scientist, machine learning engineer, data analyst, data storyteller, machine learning scientist, and technology specified roles. So when it comes to technology specified roles, what will happen is like if you're in the medical domain, you will be called as a biostatistician. And if you go into like any kind of NASA or satellites, they are going to call as a satellite scientist. So everywhere you are working on the similar kind of algorithms only. There isn't any difference. But whatever the designation you are having, it will keep on changing based upon the kind of industry you work. Okay. These are the topics which we are going to cover: statistics, probability, Python, advanced Python, data analysis, regression techniques, clustering techniques, advanced algorithms, NLP, interview questions, and sample results. Okay. So any questions, guys?
No, sir.
Is everything clear, or do you have any questions with respect to topics or any kind of clarity you need?
Clears.
Okay. Okay. That's it for the demo, guys. Okay. We can connect tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.